it's Nancy, PureVitaLifestyle.com. How are you today? We're continuing on our journey discussing Louise Hay's 10 steps towards loving yourself. You know, I think it's kind of an interesting question. Do you love yourself? Do I love myself? I mean, how many of us really take the time to question that in our lives? How many of us really take the time to kind of step outside of what we're doing, our regular routine, and our life, and kind of think to ourselves, do I really love myself? I know for myself personally, it was a question that I've been asking myself in the last couple of years. It certainly brought a lot of answers to me, let me tell you. Today we're going to discuss step 5, which is praise yourself. Praise yourself. We've gone through the first 4 steps. And every one of the steps is just part of the process and part of the progress to get towards loving yourself. I don't think that most of us realize how much we beat ourselves up and how hard we are on ourselves. So all of these steps are to, feel good about ourselves and to treat ourselves well. And, just to realize that, we are all worth loving. We are all worthy. Every single darn one of us on the entire planet is worthy. I don't know if you're like me, if you grew up kind of thinking that you had to earn the right to be worthy, or earn the right to be loved, or earn the right to be cared for. Maybe that strikes a chord for some of you. It's something I believe that we kind of have to look internally inside of ourselves and kind of figure out, well, where did our beliefs come from? What beliefs do we have about ourselves? Do you feel good about yourself most of the time? Do you take the time to praise yourself? Do you wake up in the morning and do you look at all the wonderful things that you've accomplished or the things that you've done? And do you take the time to kind of pat yourself on the back, or at least acknowledge and praise yourself and take good care of yourself in terms of the thoughts and the words that you speak about yourself? Louise likes to remind us that, a thought about not loving ourselves, or words that we have, thinking that we have in terms of self-hatred. Self-hatred, self-loathing really isn't about, directed or directly about ourselves in terms of the fact that we're really not worthy. It's simply a thought that's become a belief. And a belief is something that's come about just as a matter of all the repetitious thinking that you've had. So if you continue to think the same thought about yourself, which is really a poor thought, or a nasty thought, or something that's related to having anger towards yourself that manifests itself in self-hatred, it's really just the thoughts that you need to change. It's not you that needs to change, it's just the thoughts that you have about yourself. And I think that's really an important key to kind of pick up on and realize, hey, we have the power to change our thoughts at any time. So we can kind of become in touch with our thoughts to start with, and then realize the ones that aren't being so gentle, and aren't being so supportive, and aren't being so loving towards ourself and our self-image. It's not us that needs to change. There's nothing wrong with us. We're all equally beautiful, spectacular, loving, charismatic, sensational, extraordinary people. And we all have the right and the responsibility to acknowledge that in ourselves. The part that needs to be changed is our thinking. The part that needs to be changed is our thinking about ourselves that makes us feel less than worthy. Each and every one of you is an amazing person, an amazing reflection of love, amazing reflection of spirit. Each and every one of you comes to the table just deserving of love, just by virtue of the fact that you're alive, that you're breathing. Each and every one of you is completely different than the next, and so intrinsic in terms of the overall connection and value that we all bring to this existence and this experience. So praise yourself. What can you do during the course of your day? When you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror at yourself, what is it that you can compliment yourself on? What is it that you can praise yourself for having done well? Is it simply the way you handled yourself in a situation? Is it how you might have offered support to a friend during a conversation that they were sharing with you? Could it be how you contributed to a business idea? Could it be how you contributed to a business venture? Could it be how you supported your family, your loved ones, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend? Could it just be the fact that you were there when they were feeling ill? You rubbed their shoulders to make them feel better. Could it be that you've cared for yourself? Could it be that you've woken up in the morning and you've taken good care of your hygiene, you've brushed your teeth, you've flossed your teeth, and you've taken care of your nutrition? You've fed yourself a healthy breakfast. Could it be that, you just parked a little bit further on the other side of the parking lot to walk into the store so that you took those few extra steps in terms of your physical health? Could it be that you offered courtesy to a pedestrian, when you were driving, and you took that little bit of extra time to let them know that you had a lot of patience and you were more than willing to let them walk ahead of you? What is it that you've done that you can look at yourself every day? Every day there's, hundreds of things that you do throughout the course of the day in which you treat other people with kindness. Have you taken the time to kind of look at that, kind of pat yourself on the back, and not in a conceited or arrogant way, just in terms of acknowledging and praising yourself for something that you've done well, whether it be that you've treated yourself well, you've treated another human being well. Praise yourself. Acknowledge the beauty and the good and the kindness that creates who you are. Be good to yourself. Praise yourself. Acknowledge yourself. I'm Nancy Battye, PureVitaLifestyle.com. Thanks for stopping by. Wish you a fabulous day.